This biker news channel reports news events that occur on the motorcycle club set, some of which are violent. The author uses this content to educate bikers against the negative effects of violence to the biker community in the public eye, not to glorify the violent content itself. Viewers should be aware that some violent topics may be covered, but the author will always espouse lessons to help you avoid such violence on the set. If you are ever on the biker set during a violent event, 1. Take cover. 2. Look for an escape. This should have been pre-planned. 3. Stay low. 4. Get as far away from the violence as possible. 5. Stay alert. 6. Never get so intoxicated that you can't remain vigilant. 7. Observe trending behavior. 8. Always know where the closest exit is at all times. Howdy friends, welcome to another edition of Black Dragon Biker News Network, biker news you can trust. And as always, we'd like to thank you for tuning in from wherever it is in the world that you happen to be. This just in. And you know what, I kind of had talked about this a little bit, and I kind of knew this sort of thing was going to happen. And it's really kind of interesting and maybe even a bit sad and perhaps absolutely terrifying. Depending on what end of this you fall on under. So, how does a assault? Two people get into it in a garage. A couple bikers get into it in a repair shop, and how does that turn into, or is it even possible for that to turn into a multi-agency raid on a guy's home and gang charges added to like a fist fight between two people? I mean, where does that happen? Is that even possible? And the answer is, I suppose it's possible if you are a Mongol operating in the state of Texas. So, and that could be absolutely terrifying. So let's kind of get into this story. Mongols Motorcycle Club El Paso chapter president accused in a biker assault was arrested in a raid. So a biker assault, not a biker shootout, not a biker drug deal, not a biker gun deal, not a biker prostitution ring, a biker assault. So I guess pugilism is alive and well in El Paso, and it'll get you thrown in prison just as quickly as discharging will. So let's look at this. This was a article written by Danielle Barunda of the El Paso Times, and we're going to paraphrase it a little bit and talk about what it talks about. But the president of the El Paso chapter of the Mongols Biker Club, okay, here we go, Biker Club, I like that better, was arrested Monday during the early Monday raid at his northeast home, police said. Early Monday raid. We're going to talk about how early the Monday raid was. Charles Edward Anderson Jr. is accused of assaulting a former rival biker gang member earlier this month at a motorcycle garage, the El Paso police said. A former rival biker gang member, which means he wasn't a rival biker gang member at the time. I don't know. Just asking. The Mongols Motorcycle Club are a recent arrival in El Paso and one of the world's largest 1%er clubs, which law enforcement considers an outlaw biker gang. Anderson, 46, was arrested on a charge of engaging in organized criminal activity Assault causing bodily injury. Causing bodily injury. Now, let's think about that. Anderson, 46, was arrested on a charge of engaging in organized criminal activity. Assault causing bodily injury. Wow. This is really deep. This is deeper than a fist fight, and I'm going to tell you why. Anderson allegedly assaulted David Crago, 48 years old, so he was 46, Crago's 48. Seems fair enough, close enough. On April 5th, day after my birthday, at the Busted Knuckle Motorcycle Garage on Hondo Pass Drive, police said in a news release. The garage is owned by Anderson. That's interesting. So if it's owned by Anderson, maybe he was trying to put David out and they maybe got into a tussle. I'm just, trying to figure out what's going on. The garage is owned by Anderson according to the county business records. Anderson was arrested at 4:45 in the morning, right as the roosters were crowing, Monday morning, when a multi-agency law enforcement team raided his home on the such and such 100 block of such and such drive. I don't know why does the newspapers put a guy, if he's involved with a rival gang member and blah, 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 why would they put his address in the damn paper? You're trying to get the guy killed? I mean, this is ridiculous. Well, we won't be saying his address on here. But anyway, Anderson was arrested at 4:45 a.m. Monday when a multi-agency law enforcement team. Wasn't this a fist fight? The arrest and search warrants. And what do you need to search his home for if he got into the fight at the Busted Knuckle Garage? But anyway, the arrest and search warrants were served by a team including the police SWAT team and gang unit and the Texas Department of Public Safety, FBI, Safe Streets Gang Task Force, and the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives. What was this like? Was this like David Koresh and Waco? I mean, what on earth? I'm going to need you guys to spend our taxpayer dollars a little better. I mean, couldn't you just call the guy up and say, hey, man, I need you to report in Monday? At least giving him a chance. This is all of these departments for a fight. Jail logs show that Anderson was later released from jail on Monday on a $25,000 bond. So he was arrested Monday morning, bailed out the same day. You spent, God knows, $60, $70, $100, $125,000 in salaries, $1 million worth of equipment on a $2,500 bust? Gets deep. The Mongols are a recent arrival in El Paso and one of the three major biker gangs in the city. Police gang investigator testified earlier this year in the trial of a member of the Kinfolk MC. So now we're just, what does the Kinfolk have to do with this? But anyway, they bring this story in, and he was convicted of killing an El Paso Bandidos chapter president. So now we've got the Kinfolk MC and the Bandidos MC in this story, and they have nothing to do with this story. But you guys do remember that story. I covered it. Kinfolk member Javier Jake Gonzalez was sentenced to 56 years in prison in the murder of Juan Campa Martinez Jr. and wounding 3 other bikers in a bar shooting. When they say wounding, one of those bikers, I actually got an email from his family members. One of those bikers was paralyzed. Paralyzed. Forever. So, we need to take that into consideration. Wounding is a small term here for what happened to that guy. And just so you guys know, if there's ever any stories like this, you guys out there, that we need to take up a collection or start a one of those funds called GoFundMe, you guys just get in touch with me and I'll be happy to do that. But anyway, late August, Anderson was identified by El Paso. Okay, so we're going to go to this is the same story, but they're adding more to it. So They said that they found out during the trial of Javier J. Gonzalez that the Bandidos were new to El Paso. And then they say the Bandidos have been in El Paso for, so they were saying, I'm sorry, they were saying that the Mongols were new to El Paso. But they say the Bandidos have been in El Paso for more than 50 years, and the kinfolk got here in 2016. Late August, Anderson was identified by the El Paso police as a member of the Heathen Horde motorcycle club. And Anderson was among Heathen Horde members arrested for allegedly assaulting members of the Valley Boys motorcycle club at the Five Points Bistro and Five Points neighborhood. Anderson is scheduled to go on trial in June on aggravated assault charges in that case. So they're just stacking up on your boy. Social media posts show at least one other then member of the Heathen Horde now displays a Mongol membership. So it goes on to talk about other things, but here are the salient points here. And I told you guys this. I said this. I said motorcycle clubs are going to have to beware. That stuff that they did that did not work on the Mongols to their satisfaction. They won some of the case. The Mongols were considered an outlaw motorcycle organization, criminal organization, all that. That they did win, but they didn't get what they wanted, and that was the colors. So I told you guys, I said, if you are wearing patches and you're going to get into some mess out there, see, that 11-year battle that they fought, that strategy, that stratagem to take away the Mongols' colors and then start snatching colors from every other motorcycle club, as though taking away the colors would stop a real motorcycle club. But that was what was on their mind. They felt like, we're losing the battle. We got to do something. Let's start with taking their identity. Now, that didn't work. That really strange use of civil asset forfeiture laws and all these other laws that they were twisting and combining to put into place to use against things they were never meant for. Finally, a federal judge just knocked that part down. Like, we still have freedom of speech and association. But I told you guys, I said, now they're going to come at you with the rule book. They're going to come at you with the real rule book, and they're going to go straight up at you. It's going to be nasty. They're going to turn an assault and battery charge into, what did the man say? The assault and battery charge is turned into engaging in organized criminal activity, to wit, assault causing bodily injury. So an assault charge, 30 days to 6 months in the county jail, turns into another 10 or 15 years in prison enhancement based on the criminal activity enhancements. They're not just a whistling Dixie out there. They're playing for keeps. They're playing for your freedom. They're playing to lock you up and throw away the key. And it ain't going to be on no underhanded kind of crazy strategy, far-fetched legal idea. They're going to have you guys on hardcore boom, boom, boom with their ducks in a row and their shit together. And you need to have your shit together. You guys have to find a way not to be drawn into these things, because they're watching and they're going to go after your freedom, your businesses, your reputation. They're going to take you off the streets. They're mad. They're not fixing to lose that court case laying down. They're coming, and when they come now, the I's will be dotted and the T's will be crossed, and you're going to be looking at more time than you could have ever imagined. How they can take a fight. And assault can be anything. Assault can be pushing somebody. It could be spitting on someone. It could be causing someone to trip and fall and bruise their hand. That's bodily injury. I mean, we don't know what happened there. I'm assuming it might have been a fist fight, but, it could have been, like there's no other charges like using a weapon or, anything like that. There doesn't even seem to be that there were other people arrested. Maybe it was just the two of them. But that charge, this criminal activity charge, that's a big one, my people. Big charge, because they add big time with that charge. And that's what's happening in El Paso. So we had Javier got 56 years. 56 years for killing the Bandidos president and wounding 3 other guys, paralyzing 1. That's what the discharging over there in El Paso is going to get you. And the pugilism might get you 10 or 15 years. So, we don't need the pugilistic skills. Pugilistic skills, did I say it right? We don't need the pugilistic skills there. MCs need to take a chill pill this summer. Because they're coming at you. And we already seen over there at Twin Peaks, we've already seen the kinds of charges that they'll put down on anybody, not really caring what they're going to cost you financially or your family or whatever. So it's real. Motorcycle clubs are going to have to fight for their own survival by acting right. You better bury Ned right. Remember that? Was that Unforgiven? You better do it right. You better do it right. Because they're coming. When you get to pugilisticizing and discharging, they're coming with that Thor hammer, that the judges use. That's what they're coming with. And they're coming to take your freedom. So, here's my warning. When I was in the Navy, they used to have this thing called the warning to the wise, because the guilty will be punished. And here's the warning to the wise. Don't be that guy. Don't be that biker that picks up these kinds of charges. It's not going to be good for you. Who wants to spend that kind of money? Who's got that money? I don't have that kind of money. Who wants to spend that kind of money, that kind of time, and have that kind of pressure on you for doing those kinds of years? Let it go. Just let it go. Woosah. Just let it go. And keep your freedom, man. And keep yourself riding them motorcycles and doing what we love to do. So anyway, let me know what you think about this story in the comment section below. We definitely are concerned and we care about what happens to bikers, because we're a biker channel. It's most specifically motorcycle clubbers. We care about you guys, and we don't want to see those things happening. So we have to keep our cool, because it's going to be a hot summer, and we need to keep the cover on top of the simmering pot, so that we don't all have to pay. And that's what it's all about. Take care of yourselves. Do something good for one another. Love each other. Treat each other like solid pieces of gold. Stay away from kettle pots. Think twice. Count to 10. Take a deep breath. Don't get involved. These law enforcement types are not just a whistling Dixie. They took a big hit and a big loss. And when you take a big hit in a boxing ring, you come swinging back. They're coming back with their eggs, their ducks in a row, their eggs in one basket, and their shit together. And they're coming for an MC near you. All right. That's my 2 cents. Thanks for tuning in. Get skinny.